Well, good morning, folks. So my name is Tim Mailer, meteorologist, and I'm coming to you from Colorado today on vacation. So my voice may sound a bit different because I'm on a different computer, and it's not as high quality audio. I don't have a good microphone and stuff. But today we're just going to focus on the excessive rainfall, severe weather outlook in the coming days. We do have a lot of severe weather. Excuse me, heavy rainfall potential in the next couple days. And severe weather is not going to be that impactful, I don't think. And the unsettled weather will likely continue for the foreseeable future. In addition to the potential for some tropical development, either in the along the Gulf Coast or in the East Pacific somewhere. Pacific hurricane season started May 1st. Atlantic season starts June 1st. So low probabilities there, but we're still going to discuss it. And then we'll go over the future temps and radar. Well, good morning, and here's your excessive rainfall outlook for today. Like I said, my intro, my audio isn't the greatest because I'm using a laptop. I don't have a good microphone, so sorry about that. But this is our biggest, ongoing threat here. We have a excessive rainfall outlook that encompasses a 15% risk, go all the way down from the Gulf Coast all the way up to Virginia here, with a larger marginal risk going all the way up to Missouri, through Indiana, West Virginia, Virginia Beach, and parts of southern Georgia as well, South Carolina and North Carolina. We also have a slight risk, a large slight risk here, going all the way up into parts of central northern Texas here, right along the Oklahoma border, all the way down to Corpus Christi, and a larger area going of marginal risk going to Mexico, two parts of northern Texas, Oklahoma, and a small portion of Louisiana as well. We also have a marginal risk up here into Montana, interestingly enough. Western Montana near Missoula, Kalispell, Helena, Butte, and parts of northeastern Idaho as well. So quite a lot going on with excessive rainfall. Continuing here into tomorrow, the threat remains down in the south here, but moves to the east over Louisiana, parts of Texas here, barely touching Dallas here. The southeast looks to get some relief for tomorrow, which is Wednesday. South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia look to be mostly out of this risk, but we also have a slight risk up here in the Ohio Valley, and a larger risk all the way going down all the way to the Gulf Coast here through North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Tennessee, all the way through Arkansas, southern Missouri, most of Kansas, and back to Oklahoma, and like I said, down to Texas. Going into this would be Thursday, right? We have this marginal risk still in place here, covering Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, most of Kansas, Mississippi, parts of Alabama, and southern Florida. Okay. Now moving into Thursday. Let's see. Now this would be Friday. All right. Let's see. Right. Friday. We still have marginal risk once again back into Georgia, parts of South Carolina, basically all the deep south in the southeast, going all the way through Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma here, and parts of southern Florida. Day 5, we still have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall back here in Texas, Oklahoma, over here in Georgia, South Carolina, and southern Florida once again. I got to zoom out here a little bit, make sure I didn't forget anybody. No. So, the next couple of days looks to be the most impactful as far as flooding. Be safe out there with this flooding risk and turn around, don't drown. I always say that, but it's very important that you do that. Be safe. All right, so here's the excessive rainfall outlook. I got my coffee and I'm ready to go this morning. It's still early here in Colorado. I'm in the Denver area here. And so, I've been looking at some interesting things here. The terrain out here is amazing and just some really cool cloud formations, things like that. Hoping for a lucky break where I see supercell or two, but I don't know if I will. Anyway, there's a just a variety of risks goes through your weather today. With the most potent of them down here in southern Texas today, generally from Del Rio to Nuevo Laredo through San Antonio, just to the west here, up just to the south of Lubbock, and down through Fort Stockton and Pecos, and a marginal risk going all the way over to Corpus Christi and along the Gulf Coast here to Zapata. Excuse me. Moving on to the northern high plains and the Intermountain West here, we have a marginal risk severe weather off up in Montana, extreme northwestern Wyoming, extreme eastern Idaho here. We also have another marginal severe risk from Wisconsin back through parts of Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota here, and a small marginal risk here in Kentucky as well. General thunderstorms otherwise. Okay. Also, thunderstorms are possible here in the northern California, western Nevada, and parts of southern Oregon. Right. So, tornado risk is interesting enough. It's highest down here, focused in the Del Rio area. You got a 5% chance of a tornado today, and a larger 2% risk going through San Antonio, just to the southwest of Austin, through Abilene here, through Lubbock, and parts of southeastern New Mexico, and about back through Fort Stockton here and down to the Mexican border. Also, a 2% risk of a tornado here. Not expecting strong tornadoes today, but if we do get a strong one, I would imagine it's very unlikely, but we'd be in this area here today. All right, so wind risk. Here's where the 15% risk is driven, at least in this portion of the risk, right? Into the southern mode. And you have a 5% wind risk in these other brown areas here. Hail, of course. In the southern mode, we almost always seem to get the 2-inch hail risk. And this is true in this outlook as well. 2-inch hail is possible in the 15%, pretty much 15% risk area today. So if you live in this area, be mindful of your conditions and maybe park your car under an awning or something. Get it, put something over it. And don't go out in that either. You'd have a serious headache if you get hit by one of those things. Hail is possible up here in the Montana as well and Wisconsin today. Moving into tomorrow, no hail expected tomorrow, at least no severe hail risk. We do have the categorical risk with a marginal risk right along the Virginia coast here, parts of North Carolina, as well as Maryland and Delaware here, and a small portion of West Virginia. You see general thunderstorms continue for a good portion of the nation, going all the way from Florida to Pennsylvania, through Kansas, Nebraska, all the way to Montana, Oregon, back to California, and through Texas, and a smaller area covering Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and South Dakota. Now for the day 3 outlook, which is Thursday, just have no overall severe risk, just a general thunderstorm risk. And after that, there's no severe risk on the books for right now, at least a 15% risk. Although, as we get closer to these different time periods, we could see some marginal or slight risks pop up somewhere. But overall, not expecting highly impactful severe weather for the next 7 or 8 days or so. Of course, if you get hit by a hailstorm or tornado, it's important to you. So always be mindful of that, and be weather aware. Okay, so moving on to the tropical Atlantic here. Let me maximize this. All right, so yeah, I just showed you the Pacific, right? And this is you see the Pacific season starts in May, right? The May 1st, right? So the Atlantic season starts June 1st. And we typically, I might go and show climatological formation plots as well. That'd be good to show. But for now, I'll just talk about it here. Normally, this time of year, we don't get systems forming out here, right? Even in the Caribbean. Mostly, we have homegrown systems form somewhere in this area, okay? Either Gulf of Mexico or somewhere along the Atlantic coast, and they usually go out this way. Or they may come up here, and these may come up this way. Cyclone. You see, this is a little bit different here. So now we're talking about Genesis probabilities here. So quite the probabilities look higher here. So this could be any system that develops here. Okay, it could be Genesis to a tropical depression storm. Okay, so I should have showed this on the one for the Pacific as well. I'll just show the tropical storm, but anyway, this is more of a Genesis product. Okay, than just a tropical storm formation product. You can also select hurricane, right? And you can imagine it doesn't show anything here, right? And that's not unusual, right? So tropical cyclone, okay, Genesis. So that's what we're talking about with this Genesis here, which means you have a low pressure disturbance, either form depression, tropical storm, whatever that may be. So it doesn't have to be named, okay? So we go through time with this. Probabilities are a lot higher. You see over here in the Pacific, and I'll probably go back, maybe redo the Pacific one. I don't know, but um, showing pretty high probabilities even in the Eastern Pacific here, 60, 70%. All right, the first part of June, even along the Atlantic coast. Just a general disturbed weather here could lead to a formation and not zero out here as well in the Atlantic. I wouldn't think we're going to get anything, right? This is the first week of June, the second week of June. Still pretty high probabilities out here in the Pacific, lower up in here, all into the Gulf, on the Atlantic seaboard, and around the favorite areas in Central America. I would discount this offshore of Africa at this point. Now we get towards the second part of June. You still have higher probabilities in the Eastern Pacific of Genesis and some lower probabilities in the Atlantic as well. So let's just switch over to the Pacific here. Just go over this now that we have the Genesis product on here. Okay. Sorry for the noise in the background. So you can see the probabilities are quite high, a lot higher here, right? So this is just a Genesis. Like I said, I keep repeating the Genesis, which means a system spinning up and becoming a depression, tropical storm, okay, or hurricane. All right, now we move this through real quick. You can see to start off the period, it has some higher probabilities out here in the Central Pacific or West Central. This is the period of starting now, and the higher probabilities move further to the east here. We saw that on the Atlantic view, and still here, right? So anywhere in this area, especially along the eastern Pacific coastline, along the Mexican coastline here, is the highest favorite area here. So we'll be monitoring this, and there's nothing imminent right now. So since it's getting close to tropical season, we want to take a look at these products and see where we're at with all this. So don't be alarmed. It's just me talking about what the possibilities are. There's nothing forming and coming over your house or anything like that. So don't play into the clickbait on the internet. This says there's going to be a hurricane forming in 5 days over your house, something like that. So just be mindful, and we'll keep you updated as time goes on here. So this is the Google DeepMind, okay? And the Google DeepMind Weather Lab shows, and just a little review of what it's showing here. Okay, so if you haven't seen this before, you observed up here the DeepMind experimental model, another one a Google model, Weather Next Gen, Weather Next Graph, which is one of the other models, European Ensemble, and High Res. So the different colors represent different models. And you see low pressures represent like tropical disturbances, areas of low pressure here. And it shows the markers, right? So toggle this, it would show tracks, okay? And ensemble tracks. All right, so we move this through time here. And I'm just comparing this to the two products I just showed you, the European Ensemble Tropical Storm Formation Probability portal, right? Definitely Western Pacific is getting pretty active here. Tropical storm or hurricane looks to be developing here in the next couple of days. There's some areas low pressure getting going in the Eastern Pacific here, and that was forecasted. This is the next 2 or 3 days, and this was initialized at 26, right? This is mostly the European model saying something will develop here. Not many other model. None of the Google DeepMind models are progging anything. And then we get some more higher probabilities here. It looks like a clustering of the Google DeepMind in the first part of June, and maybe some other areas for the European want to do something here in the Atlantic, but nothing showing up as a low pressure or anything. Eventually, get low pressure. Looks like the European wants to develop a low pressure off the coast of Mexico, and some general clustering here of different probabilities, but nothing showing low pressure here at this point. I'm not sure what this is out in the Atlantic Ocean. It could be subtropical low or something. And as we get towards the June 7th, European model, high res, wants to maybe develop a tropical storm off the coast here. It's pretty far out, so but that's the only model that's showing genesis at this point. So, but you can understand why the European ensemble is looking at this area. It looks to be disturbed weather along the intertropical convergence zone. Favorite areas for warm temperatures and low wind shear here in the coming days. Well, let's look at the temperatures for the next couple of days. Through May 28th or so, through the end of the week. It starts off today pretty warm, right? I mean, the 60s and 70s warms up quite a bit here. And this is a national blend of models. Highest temperatures right along the eastern seaboard here, the southeast coast into Florida. Hot once again, 90s here for real field temperatures. And you can see most of the nation 70s, 80s, all the way up into Canada as well. Out here in Denver, it'll be nice today in the 70s. You see by the afternoon today, 90s down here in southern Texas, down into 100 degrees as far as real feel in Tampa, all the way up to Savannah, Raleigh, miserable. If you're out on the beach, it'll be nice, but otherwise, it's going to be hot. Even up in here in Montana, Idaho area, the northern high plains, temperatures could approach 100 degrees up here. If you look at actual temperatures, see what I'm talking about here. So the humidity levels are relatively low up here in the 40s. So when you look down here in the south by 6 p.m., very soupy air down here. Dew points are extremely high here. um, whoops. All right. See the dew points here? That is very high humidity levels. Okay. And up here to the north, we have the humidity levels high as well. And the temperatures overlaying that going to feel pretty miserable as well. So into Wednesday, overnight hours, 60s, 70s, cooler out west here. Intermountain West, of course, is always cooler. Okay. And then moving to tomorrow, rinse and repeat. Hot along the eastern seaboard here in the Florida, 1 p.m. Man, apparent temperature near 100 again. All the way up in the northern high plains, central plains, even Chicago area, 70s and 80s. In the afternoon hours, hottest temperatures here in the southeast as far as how it feels on your body. 70s, 80s in northern high plains, Midwest. Warming up some in the Boston area as well tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and then warming up once again. Some more sunshine here in the southeast leads to hotter temperatures further inland, but still Florida is baking here. Southern Texas, hot up here to the north as well. Now look at these hot temperatures up here again. Tomorrow, Thursday, right? 90s, 100s here. So overall, the nation is going to be relatively mild through Thursday. Let's look at the future radar for the next couple days here. Use an AM with the future radar up here. I know I'm switching between things, trying to get this on the map here for y'all. All right. So zoom this in a little bit. Let's start with the southeast here. If I get this to come up. All right, it's running a little slow here. Sorry about that. This is 3 a.m. Let's go forward with this a little bit more. Showers and storms just moving, repeated showers and storms moving through the area in the southeast and into the Mississippi Valley out in the Central Plains and out here into Texas as well. This is 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay. You see these showers and storms explode here in the southeast, although they kind of wane over time here and maybe filling up to the north. These small band of showers remain here and into parts of Texas as well. Okay. And you have your severe component, which may be part of this as well as this line moves to the south and east. Okay. This area really expands and then just kind of collapses here today. Move through into Wednesday. These storms move up. Looks like an MCS moves through here into Wednesday as well in the afternoon hours. Looks like we got some more showers up here into the Central Plains as well. So Wednesday into Thursday, just general showers and maybe some storms here, but the bigger focus is in the deep south here, not really the southeast at this point, for heavy rainfall. All right, so just unsettled here. Okay, moving up to the north. Let's go back with this a little bit. Running slow here, guys. Sorry. This is 2 p.m. So not a lot of rainfall to start with here, but you see showers and storms really get going here. Looks like we might have some heavy rain along the front range here. Be interesting to see how this evolves today. Mountain snow. How about that? Let's see if Denver is going to get any. I'm here, so I just want to see. Man, we're going to miss out. Boo. But mountain snow here. We'll see what happens. Cheyenne maybe get some stuff here. Showers and storms up to the north here. You can see up here in the northern high plains, Intermountain West. I'm all over the place here, but just try to follow me here. Sorry about that. Higher terrain in the Intermountain West here, getting some snow, rain, unsettled weather. Just unsettled here today, right? That low spinning there. We get maybe some more showers and storms here into Colorado tomorrow. Right? Sorry about that. Generally unsettled here. Up to the northeast. We're going to have a low pressure develop up here to the north. It's going to impact the weather into the weekend, right? And so we have these showers and storms like a line barreling through here. It comes off the higher terrain here. So we'll see how this evolves tomorrow. All right. So unsettled here in the mid Atlantic. You can see just up to the north here, there's that low spinning. It's going to drop down a little bit into Thursday. You see unsettled weather starts dropping down here into the northeast as we get into our Wednesday at 2 p.m. Generally northerly flow up here. And we have our unsettled weather remaining down to the south here. And we have this mid-level feature offshore. I didn't really go over that. Whoops, my pen has just got much larger here. But this is going to kind of spin out here out west for quite a few days, not make a lot of eastward progress. Eventually, it'll probably scoot off this way. But at the end of the period, not as much going on as it has in past days, right? This is 2 p.m. on Thursday. Most of the focus here is in the deep south, part of the Central Plains. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk about this some more. Appreciate y'all's patience while I work through this. little more challenging when we're on a laptop here. Hope you have a good day and enjoy your Tuesday.